Folks, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen. Good to be here. Thanks for being out there. Lots to get to in this segment. James O'Keefe joins us in the next segment, and he's got another undercover operation that he undertook, and this one at Cornell University. So it's also going to be a subject of a Gimme 5 later in the show, so stay tuned for James O'Keefe. Okay, we find out now that the co-pilot of the plane that crashed in the mountains in France, he locked the pilot out of the, when the pilot went to leave the cockpit for whatever reason, he locked the door. The pilot could be heard on the cockpit tapes banging to try to get in. He wouldn't let him in, and he crashed the plane. That's the deal. There's a picture of the co-pilot. They are looking for more information on him. Supposedly has nothing to do with terror. Supposedly, but they're looking into, there's a report that he was depressed. But you know what? Is there a way to prevent this? If a pilot or a co-pilot is intent on taking down a plane, is there any way to prevent that? I don't see how. We will have an aviation safety expert coming up later in the show, and we'll ask him. But I just don't see how. If someone has that in their mind and the other guy in the cockpit doesn't know it, and he's intent on doing it, how are you going to prevent that? So it's a tragedy. It's horrific. And those people knew all along. So much so they heard their pilot on the outside of the cockpit door banging, "Let me in," as the plane is descending and headed to the mountains. They knew they were going to die. I mean, that was bad news. Very, very bad and tough to think of, absolutely. And the families, I can't even imagine what the families of the victims are going through right now. Now, yesterday, if you recall, when we were talking about Bo Bergdahl, accused deserter, and I said, I know what they're going to say at the White House. And I later said State Department. I said, I know what they're going to say. Well, we can't comment on this because he's going to get his due day in court, a military tribunal, blah, 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 blah. Didn't take long. Here's Jen. Well, here's what I said yesterday. Hit it. You know what I'm waiting for, guys? Seriously, I'm not kidding. I'm waiting for Josh Earnest to come out and say, this case has not been decided. He's going to get a fair and impartial hearing under Article 32. Let's not jump to any conclusions. We can't comment. I mean, I really believe that, Roger. And boy, oh boy, maybe if you want some advice on what lottery numbers to pick, maybe we could work something out. Because watch Jen Psaki last night with Megyn Kelly.
Well, let me first say, as you know, as a lawyer, this is a military justice issue being handled by the Army. This is a step in the process, and there are many steps past here. The Army has taken steps through their military process. We won't prejudge the outcome of those steps.
Do you think he served with honor and distinction? Did Susan Rice have it right?
I think that we look at Sergeant Bergdahl as somebody who served his country, as many men and women have. It's been quite some time since we brought him home, and there's been some time for those in the military justice system to take a look at this case, and we'll all be the judge of that once that decision's made.
I told you! I knew exactly what they were going to say. We can't judge yet. No, we can't talk about it. There's a process, and this is just one step in the process. Do I know these people like the back of my hand? I know these people. No pun intended or message intended with the back of the hand, although you never know. Now, Psaki went on to respond to a question from Megyn Kelly. Watch.
Was it worth it? Absolutely. We have a commitment to our men and women serving overseas or serving in our military, defending our national security every day, that we're going to do everything to bring them home if we can, and that's what we did in this case.
No regrets. No regrets. Do we? I don't know. Susan Rice. You go back to Susan Rice, and how she said he served with dignity and honor, and it just takes me back to what I said yesterday, folks. And I will say this every show if I have to say it. This is a Seinfeld episode. No, it's not an episode about nothing. It's not that episode. No, it's not the Bizarro World episode. We are now living in the age of George Costanza's episode, the opposite episode. This is obviously a disaster. Obviously you regret this. Obviously you made a mistake. No. We don't regret it. No mistakes were made. We would do it again. Of course, it was worth it. It's the opposite. But here's the thing. I think Obama would do it again. while he shuns and has nothing to do with the parents of those killed in Benghazi. One mother who's been on this show saying, I can't talk to anybody, they won't give me answers. He invites the father of this alleged deserter, a father who emailed his son, follow your conscience, when his son allegedly emailed him or wrote him a letter saying, I don't like our country's policy, I want to get out of here. Follow your conscience? And this is a man that stands in the Rose Garden with Obama. You know why? It's like Ralph Peters said, Obama can understand deserters. He can't understand why someone would join the military. We're coming back.